Hola, hola, Bafetu. Lankita Kere Bafetu. MK Maradona. We are from the street, Bafetu. And today, I would like to interview someone very influential, Bafetu. Someone who guides a very, very, very big institution. So tonight I'm sitting here next to Sir. I will allow him to introduce himself. Sir, can you?
Yeah, my name is Strauss. I am from Mikey's Club, but originally from the Western Cape Booster. But obviously, I've been here for almost 30 years, so that is actually my home.
Okay, there you have it, Mr. Strauss. He's from Mikey's Club. So, Mr. Strauss, I have a few questions that I want to ask you. I want to ask you, Mr. Strauss, what inspired you to go in this direction? I believe Mr. Strauss can tell us what are you at the radio station NFM? What is your position there?
Well, my position at the current status is the station manager. And what happened was that I would maybe say it's luck that I find myself in this industry, because at the time when it was only an idea, I was part of the idea discussion. So where we were discussing at the time, way back 2007, 2008, in terms of how we can go about to establish a voice for the people of this region. And I was part of that panel discussion. And it was only actually that, and I was part of 3 or 4 times what we would call a temporary license that we applied for at ICASA. So which means that you apply for an event license like it's Youth Month. Then you apply prior to the time for event license for Youth Month, Women's Month, or whatever. And then after a few months of temporary licenses, after maybe 2 years, where we had issued 5 temporary licenses from ICASA, so then that same panel asked, but why can't we get a permanent license? So at the time there was nobody that was available, because everybody was working, you were employed somewhere. And because I'm running my own business at the time, they feel it fit that I must take the lead and do the permanent license for the community radio station, Panamakwa, in which obviously I did, and I pull in some of my resources and obviously some of my staff members at the time, and then we then applied for a permanent license, and then we were obviously successful, and then Radio NFM then started his first permanent license between 2009 and 2010, and that is where we are now 21 years later.
21 years later. Yo, that's very, very, very long. So, Mr. Strauss, you said you had your own business by the time. In what field were you that time? Before this opportunity, the opportunity of NFM came to you. What field were you in that time?
Well, as an entrepreneur at the time, I had successful contracts with the Department of Education and so forth, where I, maintain assistive devices for the department. That's like sewing machines, overhead projectors at the time, typewriters and so forth.
Yes.
And then obviously I had a counter sales where I had a stationery department, office and stationery. And then, so as time goes by, you would know that competition arises, and you had to compete with bigger businesses, and they actually push you out.
They push you out.
Yeah. And so, but, I had an experience for about more than 20 years in business. And that is why I think the success of NFM is the mere fact that I run the NGO, the NFM community radio station, as a business,
Yes.
Although they don't expect you to make profit, but you need to sustain yourself, to make sure that the NGO that you, in this case Radio NFM, is lucrative in terms of where we can be sustaining ourselves, but obviously to make sure that the radio station do adhere to regulations, but also to make sure that they are financially stable
Yes.
to continue on a day-to-day basis.
To continue. Yes, that's very true, Mr. Strauss. And yo, that's a lot of experience. And I mean, you suited, you were perfectly the right person to put in the position that you are today. And I'm gonna ask you now, Mr. Strauss, what's your main goal? What's your vision for this NFM institution?
Well, 5 years ago, I set myself a goal saying that I'm going to want to extend the footprint of NFM.
Yes.
So where we only not just broadcast on 98.1, but I would like to secure other frequencies in the area. So then I obviously make sure that I applied for other frequencies for other municipal areas in the Namako district. So which we could manage to get it successful from Ikaza. So currently we are broadcasting on 4 different frequencies: 90.7, 98.1, 89.1, 98.6, and so forth.
Yes.
And so that has been established. So our footprint and our range of NFM is one of the biggest and largest in the South Africa. So as a community radio station, we could manage within the last 5 years to maintain and actually to execute the frequencies. So for the past year, we are broadcasting in 5 different municipalities, which is an achievement. So the next obviously goal and vision for us is to establish satellite studios. It can be maybe that will be maybe that can also be like the main studios, So we are currently busy with one of the studios in Aghanais, in Popader, Aghanais area or Kaima area. So I would like that studio to be up and running, say mid 2025. So which means then we're going to equip the locals in the Kaima area, to equip them, to train them as presenters, technicians, and then we'll be able to broadcast between Oakip studio and then the Povada studio. And then in the meantime, we're also going to make sure that we see how we can also go about to do the same in the Port North area and obviously in the Kamisberg area. So within the next 2 years, I would like NFM to have different studios in different areas so that we can also make sure that we train upcoming presenters in the specific areas, and that will enlarge the radio NFM vision for me. And then I will be rest assured handing over the keys of NFM.
That there is a future, and the future it's bright going forward. And that's gonna bring me to my next question. Actually, that I wanna ask you. Today we are celebrating a very huge a journey, a milestone that NFM have reached in your hands, sir. And I want to know how does NFM support the local youth that's in musical, of let's say in arts, in entertainment. How does NFM meet them halfway?
I think what you have saw today is that our local artist was performing on the main stage since 3 o'clock this afternoon. And the performer that is now on stage is the only national artist, which is the Rockets. And that is how we obviously make sure that we first cater for local artists. We make sure that our local artists get the necessary awareness, and that our local artists is the artist that needs the necessary information or the advertising awareness, and to make sure that they get the necessary attention in South Africa. I mean, there's a nice lady performing earlier, Candace Jacobs. She is nationally known. Her career also started at NFM. And that is the platform that we can create for the locals. And luckily for us, that the regulator, which is Ikaza, they press community radio station to give more awareness to local artists than national artists and international artists. So that is a given for NFM to make sure that our local artists be known and that the local artists get the necessary attention on the platform of NFM.
I would love to sit and chat with you more, Mr. Strauss. There's a lot of questions that I actually have, but since we are caught up with time, and I know you also want to celebrate. It's a nice day today. We have a lot of people here who also wants to celebrate themselves. That will bring us to our end. But I want to say thank you to talking to me. Thank you for making time to chat with me about a few things that you have also planned for the radio station so far. Buffet, today you have it. I'm here with Mr. Strauss, the manager of NFM. The future looks good, Buffet too. And I want to say, if you didn't hear it, where did you want to hear it? Only here on from the street, Buffet too. We're tuning out. Danko.